this was a breaking point for me. Instead of going like, I got to get me another job. Because that was always the thought. It's like, I'll just get another job. I'll go put a friend's number on my resume. Be like, oh, this is Mr. Bill Smith from so-and-so. Yeah, it's like my old boss. And it's like your college buddy. It's like, all right, yeah, I know Owen. He's a great guy. I'd hire him. I'd always fake a resume, whatever, get to the next job. But this time I was like, no, I'm not going to go back into their system. I'm not going to go back. And I was like, there are people that are making money on YouTube, and I can be one of those people. So I started as like a sketch comedian. I was building these sketch channels. And you can see some of my early stuff is, it's 10, 12 years ago. And we were viral then. So I knew I was good at making videos, but I go, there's no way to, I would have to keep making videos for the rest of my life. And it's like, I don't want to do that. So I began teaching business owners how to make videos. And that's the whole thing, man. It was like, I saw a way where I could teach a man to fish instead of selling him fish. And that's what I've been doing. That's how I overcame it, was stepping out of it, realizing that pathway was not for me.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to Season 3 of Legacy's Journey, where we talk about creating what outlives you. I'm your host, Cameron Williams, owner of Kinley Consulting, where we focus on strategic financial growth for marketing agencies so that they can live the dream life they deserve and not be a slave to their business. And we do that through CFO services, accounting, and consulting. Now, this is Season 3. And at first, we didn't halfway know what we was doing. Then we start meeting a lot of people. Now we to the point where, I could put out an APB, help me to find somebody specific. And this person was somebody real specific. I'm like, I need to know more about ads, social media. How do we get that moving? Because as we know, everybody needs that now. COVID showed us that. And so, some people was like, you need to check out this dude named Owen. So I'm like, all right, bet. We talked really quick. He's like, bro, let's do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Owen Video is here today. What's going on?
My man, what a great introduction. Appreciate you, and I'm thrilled to be here.
All right, let's jump into it because I know you got some good stuff to share. I did a little research, but I don't want to spoil it. So, tell the people name of the company, what you do, and how you got started.
Yeah, so my name is Owen Video, and I'm the CEO and founder of a company called acceleratusmedia.net, and we are a YouTube done-for-you agency. I don't like the word agency, though. We're a white glove service. All I've ever done for my whole life is put business owners on YouTube. I myself have built various YouTube channels over 60,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, 3,000 subscribers. And this is all I've ever done. I started my career, it's like, where did you start your career? Like, it's all these things that happen. But, I was kind of grew up in Los Angeles, and there wasn't much, hope for me. I didn't have any mentors in my life. There was nobody really like leading, guiding, or directing me. And so, I ended up just kind of being in sales and learning how to talk to people and how to interact with people. And I found that to be a good skill set, but unfulfilling, and so I always wanted to get up in my career. And growing up in LA, it's like I loved video, and I had a video camera, that I would play with and kind of make these home videos. In fact, in high school, I would like do comedy skits and things like this, and I would film them and then play them at pep rallies and stuff, and like even from a young age, I was doing like this sketch comedy. And so as a time I was a young adult, I blended those two skills together because I had already done jobs, bro. Like I had already done a job here and a job there. And it's like, it was not the course for me. Now I had no mentor to tell me I was an entrepreneur. I had no mentor to tell me start a business, when you were made for this and not that, I was a square peg in a round hole, and I got fired, bro. I got fired in a really embarrassing way too. It was like I had to walk out in front of the whole office, and I'm like holding my box with like a little cactus coming out of it, and he'd say this walk of shame. out to the parking lot. And I go, I am never again going to let someone else control my income. And that's the day that I decided that I was going to build a YouTube business, that I was going to take this thing that I loved making videos, and I was going to somehow blend it with my business skill of making sales. So that day I started a YouTube channel, and I began to make videos for other business owners. I've been doing that for 15 years. And now what we do is we work with high performance CEOs, typically of $2 to $5 million companies. And we build a YouTube channel that gets thousands of views and generates revenue. It gets customers. And that's where the ROI happens.
Okay. So see, here we go right here. Creates. All right. And everybody knows, we take notes because, these people, they say such good stuff. Okay. Let's start back over. Let's talk about the getting fired and starting a business, because I think a lot of people would take that as like, oh man, I'm a failure. Oh man, what did I do wrong? I'm so bad, not good enough, etc. So how did you kind of overcome that head trash to even be able to, you know what? No, I'm not going to let this define me. I'm going to start my own thing. Like, talk us through that, because I think some people, that's how they're starting and that's how they're transitioning into it, but they don't know how to get rid of that past head trash.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, the head trash that I'm dealing with, I think is, I don't want to say exceptional, but I got some of the dirtiest thinking, that's out there, and it wasn't just this head trash. It was like my value as a person, right? Like, I'm never going to get ahead in life. Very much like a victim mindset, and here's the thing is, I have been fired multiple times, and so it wasn't like this was the last time I got fired, but it wasn't the first time I got fired. So I'm in this place where I get fired job after job after job. In fact, I had 21 jobs. I've been fired 22 times. Same job had to fire me twice. Okay. They fired me. I went to another location, got hired there. And then the day I started, they were like, bro, you just got fired from the place down the street. And I'm like, well, I was hoping you wouldn't find out, and they said, we can't keep you. And I was like, well, I said, I got farther than I thought I was going to get. You know what I'm saying? So, that was my job history. But again, I had no mentor, no father. I mean, my dad was around, but he wasn't around. Like, and I didn't have anyone to tell me that there was a different path or what I should do, or, direct a child in the way that he should go. And so I'm just kind of like trying to figure this out. I'm dedicated. I've got that like American entrepreneurial spirit. You know what I mean? Like, I had this inner city vibe that like did really well in the suburbs, and was able to get me. I was more ambitious than anyone else. And I was like, man, someone like me, there's got to be a way. So I get fired from this job, and I think to myself, it's like, this was a breaking point for me. Instead of going like, I got to get me another job. Because that was always the thought. It's like, I'll just get another job. I'll go put a friend's number on my resume. Be like, oh, this is Mr. Bill Smith from so-and-so. Yeah, it's like my old boss. And it's like your college buddy. He's like, all right, yeah, I know Owen. He's a great guy. I'd hire him. I always fake a resume, whatever, get to the next job. But this time I was like, no, I'm not going to go back into their system. I'm not going to go back. And I was like, there are people that are making money on YouTube, and I can be one of those people. So I started as like a sketch comedian. I was building these sketch channels, and you can see some of my early stuff is, it's 10, 12 years ago. And we were viral then. So I knew I was good at making videos, but I go, there's no way to I would have to keep making videos for the rest of my life. And it's like, I don't want to do that. So I began teaching business owners how to make videos. And that's the whole thing, man. It was like, I saw a way where I could teach a man to fish instead of selling him fish. And that's what I've been doing. That's how I overcame it, was stepping out of it, realizing that pathway was not for me.
I feel like that was a whole life lesson right there, because To your point, I think what we end up doing focusing on focusing on the fact that what is not working right versus what is. So
Yeah.
I love how you made that shift. Now you gotta tell me because I saw it on the finger. So at
Yeah.
this time, are we would Bay? We would Bay?
Yeah. I mean, let's see. I was married with no, no, no. When I lost that job, I was not married, but dating my wife. Okay.
Okay.
And it's a really interesting story because my wife is a believer. She's a follower of Jesus. And
Shout
I
out.
was cool. I was cool with that, but it's like wasn't my thing. I was like, Jesus is great, man. Like it's like I'm great, you're great. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's like, no, no, God is the heaven, the creator of the universe and the maker of the sky, and it's like, what is this? And all of a sudden, I'm like, what is this thing that you're like? It's like it makes her alive, and I begin to like chase down like all these things about I don't believe in God and like it's like experiment all the science and all these things and through that experience I had this radical encounter
Oh
with the
boy.
Lord and it changed my life and I became a Christian and it's like I got fired, became a Christian and then married my wife and started a YouTube channel. So I'm knocking on doors with my camera. This is what I would do. I would I wore a vest. It was a fishing vest, but I would put like camera stuff in it. So I like cords and batteries and stuff. So it looked like, I was like a director, right? I even had like a little director hat. Um, and I am out grinding, knocking on the doors with my video camera in my hand. And I'm going like, hey, I'll make you a video right now for YouTube for $20. Now, $20. Like, yeah, but we got to film it right now, today. Well, could you come back? Because my hair is like, I will come back, but I'll come back for $100. Okay. So that was my hustle. That was my grind. And it was like, I've got a wife. My wife had a baby.
Oh snap.
So I'm instant father. And then we had a baby in a year. And I'm like, I've got to provide for this family.
Oh snap.
So all of that happened like a 2-year period. And, I mentioned that story because it was this radical, like life change thing where it's like, I was living in this one way, no mentor, no father, no guidance to a radical experience that's life changing. It's like I had been wearing um, fleece over my eyes, you know, and that fleece was removed, and I saw the world for the way it was, and I saw me for who I am, and I realized like I'm an entrepreneur. Really, what it was is I heard these words. I was like entrepreneur. What is that word? What does that mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm 30 years old at this time. And I'm like, I think I'm that. I think I'm an entrepreneur. And so it was like a whole new way of living, a whole new way of seeing the world, a whole new way of making money. And my skills were made for it.
Okay. See, you took it there. I didn't know we was gonna go there, but I'm all for it. Okay. Let's talk about that because a lot of people don't get how faith and business can work together.
Yeah.
No, they're two separate things. And I'm like, if you study your Bible, technically not true. Talk about that because to your point, all right, I'm dating Bay. Hey, I'm about to start this thing, but you gotta trust me. Like, how did that change your relationship? Because I know in my case, my wife was like, okay.
No,
But I
so
mean, I later found out she's like, every morning I'm in that closet praying down the
yeah.
heavens because I'm like, Lord, we need this money now,
Yeah,
please
yeah,
help
yeah,
me.
yeah. No, it's good. How long you been married?
11 years as of last.
11 years, dog. That's great, bro. Oh, it's amazing. Marriage changed my life because I had a business partner now. Like I had a life partner. And there's all this talk in the world about don't get married, but in reality, marriage is what liberates you from the system, right? Two incomes working to one purpose. And you grow in that, right? So marriage was very beneficial for me. I married a school teacher and she had like a 401k. She had like steady job Medicare. It's like, yeah. Now look, I'll tell you something, bro. I was on unemployment at the time. In fact, when I got married,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I had to stop my unemployment. My unemployment checks were going to an ex-girlfriend's mailbox. And I had to like change the mailbox so that like the unemployment checks, like my address matched with these
Yeah.
unemployment checks. So it was not a, but it's not a bold place to be. But so my wife, I can't believe my wife married me. She's telling her family, I'm marrying this guy who's on unemployment. He's getting his checks at his ex's house. It's like ridiculous. But that marriage thing put in me a grind to work. And it's like, I can figure this out, right? I had new purpose in my life. Meanwhile, my wife believed in me. She saw something in me that nobody else saw. She saw that heart, that passion, that fire. She goes, this man can make anything happen. And it's like, on top of that, we're relying on the Lord and, faith in business. I didn't even have a business until I had faith. I was stuck in a system that hated me, that wanted to tax me to death, that wanted to like you know register and certify me to death, and then they control you, right? Like you're a registered this or a licensed that, and it's like until you do something they don't like, they take that away, your ability to live, and it's like no one's going to take away my ability to live, you know. And I found that those views were consistent with this God of the Bible that I was learning about. And I
Mm.
saw how in Joshua, he was like, be bold and courageous. And I'm like, man, I want to be bold and courageous. And I saw how they went out and cleared the land, this wild land, and they brought order to it. And I said, I want to bring order to my life. Lord, bring order to my life. And all of a sudden, mentors stepped in. I'm at a church now. Never really gone to church. All
Oh
of a
boy.
sudden, I'm in church with all these white people singing. Okay, real, bro, real. Okay, I'm from the city. I'm used to a little bit of color.
Wait, you're
All
from LA?
born and raised, brother.
Oh yeah. So
So
you're
look,
in the
check this
burbs
out.
then.
Yes, yes. Now I'm in the suburbs, and I'm in this church. Never been to church before. All of a sudden, this dude comes out. This black dude comes out rapping in the middle of service. And I was like, I'd never seen a rapper in church before. And I'll tell you, that man, that rapper became one of my closest friends. And
Wait, is this one of the big ones? Is this like Bizzle or somebody?
no, 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 Bizzle. Okay, so now we're talking like big names. But Christian rap has always been since this day, Christian rap has been a deep, deep passion of mine. I've seen so many of the
Oh,
rappers.
wait a minute. We're not gonna go there. Oh my
Bro, I
god.
was
You
just
got
at No Big
millions of
Deal.
songs.
Bro,
When he came to the Rolling Loud thingy?
I was at No Big Deal in Salt Lake City, the small underground concert. And I'll tell you what, like, there was probably, I mean, there wasn't 100 people there. It was a very
The
intimate.
unplugged recording he did?
I don't know if it was a recording, but it was a great show. John Keith was there. Um,
Nah.
so all that to say, I see this rapper, I
Mm-hmm.
become a part of it, and it makes me go, I want to get to know what's going on here. This is weird. And I start to have mentors. All of a sudden, these dudes are coming alongside me and kind of like we're growing this thing together. And it was like the Bible says he will light your next step. Like he will like light your path right in front of you. And it's like, I'm going to trust that I'm in this good spot now. And I'm going to just like start doing these things that feel good. And let me tell you something, like I've had a business acumen ever since. I've really felt like you take the next step and you see your options from there. This has been a great strategy for me in business and reading books and going to business conferences. I'm a big education guy, right? Even now I seek out mentors. It's always important you got somebody who's a level above you seeking you out, or you're seeking them out. Like I got to get to
Right.
somebody who's like at 5 million and get there. I'm going to get there, and I believe that that's ambitious. One of the big things that I've had to balance in my life is being ambitious. I want these things with I want to be present. I want to be a good father. I want to be a good husband. I want to be an elder in my community. I want to be a man that men can look up to,
Yeah,
Um
that's facts.
constant battle, bro. That's a constant battle.
let's stay right there because I think to your point, and that's kind of even why we started the podcast. It's like the world to have you thinking more and more and more. You gotta make more. It's not good that you just make 20K in a month. Make 30, make 40.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's like you keep hitting these numbers where you're like, well, that wasn't what I thought, so I just need to keep doing more. And to
Yeah.
your point, now you're causing family time to suffer or a time with wife. Like I can remember, especially so if we're in year 7, like probably 3-ish, 4-ish years ago, staying up to 2, 3, 4 in the morning because babe, I gotta make this money. And my wife over there looking like, I'm going to bed. And after a while, we
Ah,
had to have that conversation because
yeah.
it's like, I want to spend time with you. I'm thankful that you're willing to work hard and make money, but like, at what cost? So, like, go into
Yeah.
that for it because to your point, I'm guessing at this same time, so we're growing in our faith, but now we're getting more traction in the business as well. So,
Yeah.
how did you not get caught up in like, well, okay, I missed this prayer meeting and, babe, we'll do a date the next time. And like,
Yeah.
how did
No.
you achieve that balance?
Yeah, bro. I did not achieve balance, and I was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer because I went into the grind. And it's like I'm meeting these mentors. I'm making good business decisions. This kid who was on unemployment is now a man with kids. I was on unemployment, but now I'm making money. I'm stacking bills, son. And it's like make more. I was staying up late. Um, eyes in the screen, knocking on doors every day, hiring editors, like then going to church, serving in ministry, doing speeches at church, going to a men's group. I'm hiring people from the church. I'm actually making vines, right? Vine became Musically became TikTok. I was making vines with David Lopez, right? He's this guy character Juan. He was the biggest thing on Vine back then, and um, still's producing YouTube videos today. And here's the thing is like, I didn't achieve balance. I did it all. And one day, bro, I collapsed. And it began a series of hospital visits where they would not give me a CT scan. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. We got to save the CT scans for people that are hurting, son. And I'm like, something's wrong with me. Well, after a series, I went to the ER, forced him to get a CT scan. Get me a CT scan. 12-centimeter tumor in the middle of my chest. And I had cancer. And that, so you say, like, how'd you avoid that? I did not. Right? I did not avoid it. I went headlong in. And that's the journey that God's got me on now. So I was diagnosed with cancer. I did chemotherapy and radiation. It changed me, changed my life, changed my health, changed how fast I can run, how much I can lift. And took all my hair, went bald. That whole thing was embarrassing, man. Like it's embarrassing to go bald, like because I'm a YouTuber, man. Like I got subscribers. Like I got followers. I'm doing live stream videos. I'm doing brand deals. I've got clients. Like I'm an influencer at this point. And I get cancer, and I had to go through that in front of everybody. And the cancer came back. Stage 4 terminal. And that's when God really showed up for me, right? Like that's when the worst of the worst came. So I was diagnosed the year of COVID with stage 4 terminal. The doctors who told me all I needed to do was chemo. All you got to do is chemo, man. We're going to get you in. We're going to get you out. They're going to be so easy. Well, it was actually the most brutal, debilitating experience of my life. And then the crawl back to a normal every day was devastating. And then to get cancer again, and it didn't work. And they're like, well, that's too bad, kid. That was their attitude towards it. Like, we did what we could. Go home, get your affairs in order. And so, and that's what I did. I went home and I was like, oh my gosh, like I prepared a burial, bro. Like I prepared my wife and I sat and talked about how I would be buried. You know what I'm saying? I I pray that no one ever has to go through that. But in my darkness and in my weakness, um, God came and whispered in my ear, and he said like an image. He put like an image in my head, but it was like this image of there are people who have beat cancer, right? We've all heard of people that have beat cancer, and they were all, I drank juice or I ate broccoli or whatever. And it's like, there are people, this is what the word, it was like, there are people who have beat cancer and they've written books. Go find them, right? Remember I said, God will light your next step. He didn't tell me what book to get, you know? So I go onto Amazon. I bought 2 books. I read the first one. It changed my life. Second one, I returned it. It didn't even make sense to me. I began a natural, holistic routine back to health. What I
Wait,
believe
tell us the
is
name of the book.
okay. Yeah, it was called How to Starve Cancer.
Okay.
How to Starve Cancer led me to radical remission, led me to the metabolic approach to cancer.
Hmm.
And I began a holistic metabolic journey back to health. And today ish, January, 2 years cancer free,
Wow.
living my
Okay.
best life, bro. I'm healthier than I've ever been. Now I still got like fallout from the chemo that I got to deal with. But I can run, I can jog, I can do stuff, you know what I mean? Like I'm a pretty active and fit guy. I'm slim and trim, I'm healthy, I'm raising my kids. There's no there's no chance of me dying anytime soon. So praise the Lord, you know what I mean? But
Praise the
it
Lord,
was
Jesus.
a journey back, bro.
I think, oh man, I didn't know we were going here, but I'm happy we're here. I think that is so good because to your point, and me and my wife just talked about this. I think it was over the weekend. She was talking about Cam. I think it's so crazy how like our generation doesn't see miracles like we talk about in the Bible.
Yes.
She's like, we talk about it, but do we
Oh,
like really truly believe that God can heal or whatever? And she's like, man, I just wish we had a breakout where people could see that. So I'm glad you shared that because my granny actually had stage 4 breast cancer.
yeah.
And this would have been 2 years ago, so in 2023, but she didn't tell us. Like,
Mm.
we just was like, man, my granddad's like, y'all come here. Are y'all noticing something? So my mom and my uncle like, well, we start comparing stories. My mom goes back there. Long story short, after arguing for 2 hours, Mom, let's go to the bathroom. Finds out it's like purple, looks like this big on her breast. A week, and that was on a Sunday. I'll never forget. That next Sunday was her last day. So in a week,
Wow.
we're like, okay, go in there, run the test. What is it? We don't know. Man, they're like, yeah, she's at stage 4. It's already in the bone marrow. We caught it way too late. Did she never tell y'all? And then a week later, she was gone. So to see on the flip side, here's somebody who was able to heal that, being obedient to God's voice. People are, oh, God don't speak to you. I'm like, that
And
lets me
look,
know.
here's the thing. Yes, bro. And here's the thing that I believe is that it's like your body is the miracle, right? God
Mhm.
gave you the miracle on the 6th day of creation. We're walking miracles, but we put our trust in other things. And that's the problem, is that your body knows how to heal. It's healed every wound you've ever had. There's some scars. It's not a Wolverine style healing, right? But what we do is we disempower the body. It's like we get diagnosed with cancer. And then what happens is you start to now bring in a whole bunch of toxic chemicals. It's like, well, let me pour these toxic chemicals in my body and like let's see if this helps. So now you're living a lifestyle and you're eating in a way that's building cancer, and then you get sick and you're like, let me put these toxins in, and we wonder why people don't make it out. We wonder why more people die. What
Yeah.
I had to do was step out of the way of the miracle. The foods that I was eating and the way that I was living my life was like putting wet blankets on the miracle God gave me, which is my body. And what I had to do was get those wet blankets off, man. I had to like improve the foods that I was putting in my body. I had to improve the stress. That was the big one, bro, that I was
Oh,
putting into my
oh,
body.
we gotta go here because they'll tell you, oh, stress is just part of the job. And I'm like, tell them about it. You've
Yeah,
lived.
well, look, it's two parts, right? Like that stress response is linked to I'm blurring out here. That stress response is linked to a programming in your mind of how you should respond to a given stimuli, right? So when what I found out was like when something happens, I got all pumped up about it, right? And then when something bad happened, I got all pumped up about it. When something like normal happened, I got all pumped up about it, right? Like I was in this constant state of what's called fight or flight, where my
Mm,
body's just always ready to react. And I'm actually reading the word of God and I'm hearing that like David was a warrior. I have made your arms ready for war. And I was like alpha male, like I was like kind of like connect to that. It's like, yeah, God made me for this. But what I realized is like those are good things, but taken way too far. And I needed to kind of find some balance in my life, right? And so I'm looking at all, it's like the food that I'm eating. And when I'm talking about food, I'm talking about boxed, bottled, canned food. I'm talking about microwave food. I'm talking about like, yeah, my wife would make some sweet potatoes, and dude, I would never eat sweet potatoes. And she'd put salad on the table and I'm like, I'm
I
not gonna
just
eat
had
it.
sweet potatoes yesterday. That's
Bro, I
hilarious.
eat sweet potatoes every day, bro. Let me tell you now. Now I love a beautiful like colorful plate. Um, I'm eating like lamb's meat now and bison, right? I'm avoiding American beef. I mean, just beef in general right now, like is so toxic between what they put in it and I'm not even talking about like I'm not a vegan, right? Like plant-based diet is a good diet for cancer patients, but um when I could go back to eating meat again, bro, I was eating like good steaks, like even the good stuff, grass-fed stuff. They're making it so it hurts your gut, and that way you buy plant-based meats, right? That's kind of his whole marketing gig, right? So I'm off beef. I'm eating like these lambs and sweet potatoes now. But in the beginning, bro, it's like Mountain Dew, Doritos, ice cream,
Ooh,
M&Ms.
that red powder.
Yeah, and then alcohol, and then I don't drink anymore. But it was like I'm working all day, and then to calm down and be a good dad, I'd go have 3 beers with the family. Like, hey, let's go to rib night. Dollar ribs at the draft. And so we'd go to the bar, we'd eat ribs. Kids loved it, bro. Those were happy memories, right? But dad, would put down 3, 4 beers.
Mm.
So now and then I go to bed, come home, kind of eat some M&Ms, some ice cream, and go to bed. Wake up the next day, go to the gym, whey protein, coffee, like come home, sourdough bread, man. Oh, it's sourdough, it's not wheat, man. I was fueling my body with just like gunpowder, man.
Mm.
Gunpowder. And then that stress comes in like a spark. And so you've got to create balance in your life. And goes back to the money question. Okay, here's the money question. We discovered, because nobody taught me about money, man. My dad was a truck driver. We discovered that it wasn't about making more. It was about having a plan for 10 years and then making enough to hit that 10-year goal, right? And this was revolutionary for me. So it didn't become about a number. 83.3 per month is $1 million a year, right? But then what's your profit margin, right? How
Mm.
much time did you have? How many vacations did you go on, right? It's like, well, I'll go on vacation when I'm rich. It's like, brother, you're going to be dead by the time you even realize you're rich. It's like walking in a cloud. I tell
Right.
my kids every day that they're rich, right? Every day I say, hey, make no mistake, you're rich. There are people richer. There are people richer, but you were rich kids. You didn't grow, because here's why. They're learning a whole different way of living from me. They're learning a whole different way to think about money, to know how the world works,
Right.
uh, and to build a life that they enjoy, right? So it's not about this number million a month. That's what I was searching for before. If I make this, then I'll be rich. If I make that, but son, you ain't got a profit margin. You're not rich, son. You see what I'm saying? It's like What's rich? So for me, it's like enjoying the money I have because tomorrow I could be gone. Tomorrow I
which
could be gone. So it's
which
like
is
I want to
almost
go.
happened.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want to. Now it's wisdom. We're not going on. We're not going on like European, you know, travel vacations. I'd love to. Okay, I'd love to take my family, but we've been to Costa Rica. We did 60 days in Costa Rica last year. Did work
Ooh,
there.
I'm so nervous about trying that, but I want to do it.
You know what? It's bold and it's daring, and it reminds me of Joshua. It's like let's just if we're going to be entrepreneurs, let's go be entrepreneurs. But we're also so check it out. This is like our goal now. Is like our goal is to invest into Airbnbs. Okay, this is real. How much money do we need to put aside, like to buy a fourplex of Airbnbs? Okay, boom, got that number. So now every month we need to make our bills, right? Profit margin, that stuff's in there. But then we need to make an extra blank to put into a bucket so that in 3 years we can buy one Airbnb. So that's the goal. It's like we're just building that machine and we're getting into routines
Yeah.
and we're building a lifestyle around accomplishing that. And I'll tell you, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. We're going to get there, and we're making money along the way. So it's a better way to live, I think, than trying to just reach after that golden tower of more.
Okay. I forgot to keep taking notes. I stopped at marriage changed my life and she introduced me to Jesus. Okay. Let's go back. I'm in it. I'm in it. Okay, let's go back to something you just said because I've kind of struggled with this recently. You told me just a few minutes ago, you said, I tell my kids that you are indeed rich kids
Yeah,
because you're building something different. And I'm guessing, based on what you said earlier, growing up in city LA,
yeah,
man, life was a little different
yeah,
versus now y'all grew up in the suburbs. Y'all don't have those same struggles and issues. How do you balance? Because I see this all the time. People are like, man, my kids ain't struggling like me. They just take stuff for
yeah,
granted. So how do you
yeah,
balance? Like, I want you to have that kind of hustle and grit I had, but
yeah,
I also realized that came from struggle. But I
yeah.
worked hard to make sure you ain't got to go through that. But I still want you to learn the lesson.
Yeah, bro, great question. It's two things, man. It's discipline and mentorship. Like I'm not trying to silence my kid by giving him an iPad screen. And this is the curse of busy parents is like we give our kids the phones like, man, my kids don't have it rough. It's like, yeah, but you give them the stuff that makes it not rough. Right? If my kids are getting soft and that happens, video games are gone. I have a lock safe upstairs that's like the controllers go in there. I control the internet here. So it's discipline. My children need to behave in a way that's consistent with my beliefs and worldviews, period. Like I'm not in this place where these kids run these kids in their it's gentle parenting. No, 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 no. It's like raise a child in the way he should go. I know my kid's strengths. I know my kid better than he does. I know my kid better than the school counselor does. Um, so I'm going to discipline my kids to reinforce the behaviors I want to see, right? And so we there's in our house it's always, I mean, I try to be, bro, like I'm not a perfect dad, but like this is the philosophy. The philosophy is we set targets for what we want the kids to be like based on their skills and talents, right? What their day and their week should look like, right? So it's like Benjamin is like in parkour. He's very interested in parkour. So he's in parkour like 2 days a week. But he's also got to work on his like presentation skills. He's not great in front of a room. So we've been working on his presentation skills. So it's things like that. It's like, this is what I want my kids to be. And I'm going to reward the behaviors I want. And I'm going to eliminate those things. It's like the things I don't want. So yeah, we have video games in our house. We have TV. That's one of our favorite things to do, but it's limited and it goes away. So my kids will be upstairs because they're disciplined. And it's like, I want the TV to come out, Mom. Let me look something up on your phone. And it's like, if you say phone one more time, I'm going to have you rake the leaves. Because I like, you need to learn how to not have a phone and not bother me, you know? Um, versus like, all right, or my wife, God bless her heart, dude, is like always, it's like, well, if you apologize, then I'll give you your phone back. Cause really, I feel like my wife's tired and I just give him the phone and give her the iPad and I could be on my phone. So the two is mentorship, right? Is like that phone time should be replaced with dad time. And we always, I think we have these grandiose, I'm gonna take my boys fishing, or I'm gonna take my boys to a men's retreat, I'm gonna do these things. It's like, why don't you just go like take your boy to like on a walk right now, just a walk around the block. Hey son, get up, put your clothes on. My son's always got his shirt off. It's like, son, put your shirt on, let's go. Where are we going? With me. That's it. That's all you need to know. Right. And so it's sometimes it's a drag, but it's like, I'm going to go walk around the block, or I got to go to Home Depot. And it's like, I can get it done easier without them, but that's not what it's like, look, come on, we're gonna get the car wash. Come with me. And then you're going to talk, dude. You're going to talk to your son, that it's hard because they talk skibbity, it's like, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, but
yeah, this new language, which I guess in my head, I'm like, well, when I was a teenager,
yeah. Oh yeah.
swag and stuff probably wasn't no different. But
Yeah.
yes, the skibbity and the sigma, I'm just like,
yeah, Sigma's big, dude.
I'm
And we
like,
watch YouTube. So it's like, I think that's part of it too, is, we try to limit how much shorts they're watching, but I try to watch shorts with them. So it's like time together, and then I'm kind of like learning see what they laugh at. And so we watch a lot of Mr. Beast together, me and my kids,
why did my kids just watch him on Sunday after church? I'm like, since when y'all want to see? But I guess he's the top for the reason. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, now let's go here. So we talked about faith, we talked about wifey, we talked about kids and balance. Now let's talk about now, it's 15 years later down the road, business as well.
Yeah.
What are you seeing out there from a trend perspective? And like, because you're the YouTube guy,
Yeah.
you know what it takes to get, like you said, you're working with $1 million and up business owners. We're not just getting you 30 views. No, these are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. So tell the people, like, hey, if you want to grow your YouTube channel, because like this would go on YouTube, for example, how do we get you more views? Like, what are the top 3 ways to focus on and help do that?
First of all, let me say this. I have I have 1 million views at least on every platform. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I've mastered these platforms, and here's the thing that works. Number one is you got to have a thing that you do. This is the biggest mistake that I made. I did 6 things. Okay. I started a channel. Now I'm gonna start another channel. Okay. That's not helpful. It's you got to do one thing and you got to stick to it. Right. And this is what I coach people to do. I coach people, don't do what I did. So I work with business owners, right? We don't work with, a friend of mine hired me. He has a Nike channel. He's got a shoe channel. It's like, I could give him advice, but as long as this is your part-time gig and it's like brand deals and AdSense money, like there's no money in that. It's always going to be a struggle. But when you can sell a coaching program or a service, right? A bookkeeping service, CFO services, accounting services, like that's the jam right there, right? So you've got to be a one thing financial person. Now you've got to have people you talk to. Okay, your audience. So it's like, I am a financial guy, and it's probably more specific than that. It's probably more like accounting services, or maybe it's fractional CFO. I'm not exactly sure, but it's like that's kind of like what you do and who you are. So you're not going to do videos, about, I don't know.
I can fill in the blank here.
Yeah, anything.
What I used to do, was do like a vlog. Oh, people will want to see what it's like starting a business, like Gary Vee always says, document. So I was coming up with those vlogs. If I got 5 views, that was like everything.
Okay, that's it. Okay, so step 2, you got a thing that you do. You got people you're talking to. right? So you're talking to people, you're probably talking to businesses, I would say like let's categorize them under like 300,000 in revenue, a million in revenue. And that's kind of like, so it's like 0 to 300,000, 300,000 to a million. Those are like my two big audiences there. And you're speaking to those people in a series of videos. This is it right here. So let's say you got people that are under 300,000. You're going to make a 5-part series for them on one of your core topics. And it's going to be like a free module, right? You have to be of value before anybody wants to hear your story or your thing. Now, here's the trick, okay? So we call this the silo strategy, and this is exactly how Mr. Beast started. Every good channel starts this way. Now, here's the thing. If you'll change over time, right? But in the beginning, Mr. Beast like gave money away to poor people. Then it became like give money away to unsuspecting people, right? It began to evolve and change based on what works. So you're going to do a 5-part series for people under 300,000. And then you're going to do a 5-part series for people that are 300,000 to a million. It might be the same 5-part series, might be different. That's not the point. But what you want to do is release those in seasons. Release the 5, build an audience, let people binge watch. Release the other 5, build a new, expand on that audience, build an audience. Last thing. Okay, so it's building in groups. You got to make binge watchable groups. The way to get a viewer to watch, okay, so you're educational. You've got to have a vibe, bro. You got to have a flavor. So here's the thing, right? It's like I could come onto your show. What's up, y'all? Owen Video. But I got a vibe, bro. There's a way that I'm presenting myself right now, right? Because I actually built a channel based on all my health stuff. It's called Cancer Fighter Owen. I document my whole journey, everything I do. I've got a big audience there. Like I'm a health influencer, right? In addition to being a YouTube, we own a company that does YouTube done for you services. So I'm in that space and I'm doing it while we're teaching it, right? So on my Beat Cancer stuff, there's a Jesus vibe, right? On my video stuff, I have a orange glasses. These are health glasses, blue blockers. I have a health vibe. So you got to have a vibe in what you're doing. So you're the accounting guy who loves Nikes. Or you're the accounting guy who loves the Lord. So now in your videos, you're kind of putting in these little flavors, some chocolate chips, right? So it's like, I'm an accounting financial guy, yes, but I'll pull Bible references. Maybe not in every video, but some videos, maybe there's a small cross in the background. I love those subtle things. Like it's not like this big cross right in front of you. Just like maybe it's cross necklace. Subtle things that give you a personality now. Those two things, videos structured properly, and then, a vibe in your videos, a personality that makes you different and unique.
Okay, so what he just said, in case y'all missed it, gotta have a specific thing, have people you talk to, make things you have in like groups or series, and have your own secret sauce. I'm just saying.
You are the secret sauce. You are the secret sauce. It's like you got to find the thing about you you're already doing it, but then you have to kind of like just turn it up a little bit, right? Because
I don't think I did that. I remember that first and second year, like I was doing vlogs, probably putting 2 or 3 up because you do 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, combine them. But I mean, they're still, matter of fact, if I'm correct, they're probably on this page and just like way further back. But to your point,
yeah.
I didn't know who I was speaking to. I was thinking like, well, Gary Vee says you document. So one day my kids can come back and watch these. And then, it's going to be some people who trying to start their business. They'll watch this. Yeah. No.
That look, okay, but that's real what you're saying. Like you should have a channel that's you documenting your life for the kids. That's the Cam Will channel, right? It's like Cam Will. That's my personal channel where I upload stuff. It's for my kids' legacy, my family legacy, but it's like it helps me practice videos, helps me get on the work. You wouldn't even upload thumbnails there. You just kind of put videos up,
Right. Because I
right?
didn't. I
But
just put
then
them up.
but then you've got another channel that's like the business channel. And this is going to have a different result, right? Like, so I think in today's world, it's important to have a YouTube channel that's for legacy. But that's different than your business channel.
And I did not know that. So he's
Yeah.
telling y'all like legit. I had no idea that there's different strategies for, well, this is me. Don't you want to see my journey? How I'm doing meetings, where we're going? And I had to learn like, I mean, they may, but they don't care enough about you to want to know that right now.
Right. That's exactly right. You've got to like earn it. You got to kind of like, hey, I'm going to give you so much value that's not generic, right? Like we run into that a lot is your content is, oh, I'm going to teach someone about, I
S
don't know.
corp and tax strategy.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like, or you'll, yeah, it's like go down to your local office and da 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 da. It's like, no, man, like you got to give me something that's YouTube's not new, right? YouTube's been around. Like there are contents. There's a 3-part content strategy. Okay, it's pull, push, and pow. Okay, pull videos. You've got to do videos that are pulling your audience. So, yeah, there's probably like how to do this basic thing, but you're doing it for a new generation. You're doing it for your people. That's pull content. It's like basic. They call it hygiene. It's like you're a finance channel, so you got to have videos like this and like that. It's kind of like basic stuff. You have to show YouTube what you're about. 2 is push content. Now you got to have videos that the audience wasn't expecting. A cool twist on something, a different way to do it. And then POW content. POW content is content that really knocks them out. It's like every now and then a live stream is a great idea. Or a trending topic like, I don't know, trending topics could be anything from who's the next president to which celebrity is on trial, right? It could be like, I got friends, man. She had a YouTube channel. She's a lawyer. She had a YouTube channel, not doing extremely well. Starts covering the Johnny Depp trial. She's now one of the top 5 YouTubers, legal YouTubers on the platform. Emily Baker, incredible.
Yeah, wow. Wow. Okay. I feel like we probably need to set up a part 2 because like this was amazing. All right. Let's do rapid fire then. Wait. Let me go rapid fire. All right. 30 seconds each question.
Okay.
Rapid fire. You talked about profitability and revenue, so I know you know your numbers. What is something that your current CFO or accountant has helped you to do or are suggesting that you do to reach your goals?
One of the best financial moves that we made this year was getting a more of a 10-year financial plan as opposed to just kind of looking at the year.
Okay, love that one. Okay, what has been your best investment to date that has produced the greatest ROI?
Cryptocurrency. Well, passive investment. The greatest investment is myself and my business. But to be honest with you guys, some of you, I'm a good business mind. Not all of you guys are business minds. Some of you guys, crypto will be a better investment than yourself. And that's okay. But be honest, like, hey, dude, I'd rather make passive than have to do this the rest of my life. That's like a big thing.
Okay. Top 3 things you would tell a business to do to get to $1 million. They may not be there right now, but hey, I've seen all these different things. I've done it myself. What do they need to do?
say no more,
Mm-hmm.
get highly focused on a demographic you can build templates around. I am only going to serve restaurants. That's the hardest. We want to serve everybody. And then the the third one is master sales. You could figure out delivery later.
Okay. And then last question. If you had 30 seconds to go back to high school or college, Owen, and you know everything you know right now this second, what do you go back and tell them in 30 seconds?
Do I go back like tell high school Owen?
Yeah, you're in the time machine, you got 30 seconds. What are you telling them?
Don't do meth. That stay away from the friends you've got. You know what I mean? Like I would say get into business. Get into business and learn investing. Like that's if I had learned real estate, that would have been key. That would have been amazing.
Okay, what you gonna tell college a like 22-year-old you?
It's the same thing, man. Like that's the thing is get your money in real estate. Get your money. It's where wealth is made. So it's like put a plan together to get real estate. My business plan is to grow a YouTube done for you company so that we have profit to invest in real estate.
All right. With that being said, we got to wrap this up because I know you're busy. You got to go save the world. Tell the people if they're like, man, I like this guy, I like his vibe. How can they find you, connect with you, work with you? Tell them everything.
Yeah. Go to owenvideo.com. Owenvideo.com. It'll redirect you to my website. Learn about what we do. Follow me on social. Become a part of the journey, bro. I try to make my social experience as exciting as I can.
Tell them the YouTube channels. You said you got like 3 or 4.
I do. Owen Video. Cancer Fighter Owen is another big one. And then, I mean, I've got some other channels too, but like you'll find those along the way. I got a tech channel. I had a marriage channel a couple years ago. Like we've been around. I got a skit channel on TikTok. Go look up Owen Video on TikTok. You'll find my skits with my family, my kids.
Okay. So you heard it on video. All right. So to recap all this goodness, from unemployment to cancer to thriving. All right, got fired, started his own business, been in the game for 15 years, focusing on teaching a man how to fish versus just giving him fish. Marriage changed his life. Wifey introduced him to Jesus, which helped on his diagnosis with cancer journey a huge amount. How to have balanced kids when you're financially stable. We'll say it the nice way. Discipline and mentorship. Involve them in the small things. Everything doesn't have to be super grandiose. Top 3 ways to grow your YouTube. Got to have a thing you do, have people you talk to, and make things you have in groups. And you got to have your own sauce, your own vibe. Pull, push, pow. The basics is pull, push videos the audience may not expect, and then pow, hit them with something crazy or a trending topic. And then how to get to 1 million. Say no more. Get highly focused on the demographic you can build templates around and master sales. Anything else you want to leave the audience with before we wrap up?
No, it's great to be here today. Thank you, everybody.
All right. With that being said, y'all, these are the type of quality of people that we're bringing to the show. If you got value from this episode, which I know you did, make sure you share it, like it, send it to a buddy. Listen to this while you're on your run, doing the dishes, cleaning up. With all that being said, everybody take care of yourself, and we will see you on the next episode. Peace.